Hi, welcome back to Alter My Closet. I'm Jennifer. How are you all doing today? Well, today I have a special guest with me, and this is just a historical moment, very historical. Um, for years, my daughter and I have been traveling and doing things together ever since she was yay high. And in my last couple of videos, I spoke about letting your gifts make room for you. And so when you talk about someone with gifts, this is, the product of that. So my daughter has many gifts and recently started her YouTube channel to go along with her business, Crochet with Chanielle. And I am so very proud of her. And she's got a lot of stories to tell. And so today I would like to introduce to you none other than Chanielle Talbert, my daughter, and just wanted to bring forth the entrepreneur skills that she has. So many talents, so many gifts, so many hats. So I just wanted to bring forth that today in the form of this video. And I have some questions to ask that I believe will be great to share with others, young people, ladies, and even men coming up in this world who would like to build on their entrepreneur skills. I do believe my daughter has a lot to say, and so today I am very proud to present her on my channel and just to ask some questions that may be of help to the world. And so I wanted to first, let her introduce herself a little bit, tell a little bit about herself. Not too much, because there's some of the questions that I wanted to ask you so you can elaborate.
Okay, all right, that sounds great. I am so honored to be on my mom's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome.
It's such an honor, and this is such an inspirational moment, and it is very historical. And I think that we both have a lot to say, and we both have a lot to offer in terms of entrepreneurism, because I got it from you. So as my mom, Miss Jennifer, mentioned, my name is Chanielle Talbert, and I'm a mom of three, and I'm an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurism has been really just inundated in my DNA, in my just my upbringing, watching my mom and my grandmother. In the spirit of entrepreneurism, they've done a lot, they've imparted a lot. So I'm thankful that I was able to carry that into my generation. And I'm just really grateful for being here. My mom has really been an inspiration for me over the last year and a half, specifically with just launching her YouTube video. And I'm just so proud of the work that she's done and her consistency to build her audience and to provide the long form and short form content that she's provided so far in this YouTube space. So I'm thankful for this opportunity today.
All right. And I know you touched a little bit on inspiration, but that's one of my first questions. So what is the inspiration behind your channel, which is Crochet with Chanielle?
Yes, so thank you for asking that. So last year, my mom started to make these beautiful earring displays, and they were crafted so well. They were repurposed with photo frames.
Would you like to show one?
I would love to show one. I think this is a really great instance here. So this photo frame, I love the vintage look that it has, and it's also gold, which is very rich. And I just love the burlap because it gives it such a very unique kind of look, but it's also very practical because you can hang your earring hooks inside inside those different spaces, and you really can get, if you have maybe smaller earrings, really maximize the most out of this space. So when my mom started doing these last year, I thought to myself, it would be really great if I made some earrings to go along with these, just to provide more of a model, a display, so that people can visualize. And so notice that we're wearing these tassel earrings, and I started making the tassel earrings. My mom has some, and then she even has some here in the display. And then I just got back into my love for yarn and crocheting, and that was really the inspiration behind my YouTube channel. So it started off with my mom, and just having a deep desire to promote her business and to help her see a vision that she can continue to open up and really curate a brand. And then that led into me remembering how to crochet and just taking it from there. So I don't want to continue to talk too much, because I know we're going to continue to build on that.
All right. So my next question for you, Chanielle, is how you stay inspired. How do you stay inspired, and what drives you?
I think what keeps me inspired is knowing that I have a lot of untapped gifts, and so much potential to see those gifts transform into something that's bigger than me. I'm always looking for community, and so I use my gifts to help build community. There might be like interests. For example, something that has really been an inspiration as well, just hanging out with my mom is an inspiration for one, but outside of her community with me, I've learned that there are so many others that really enjoy crocheting as well. And so my niche right now is accessories and purses, but I've begun to put myself in spaces with other people who are beginner to advanced crocheters, and I'm just noticing a whole nother world, and that inspires me. It makes my heart so full. It makes me wonder what are some the other things that I could possibly do with just the techniques that I've already honed in on and the skills that I have now. How can I expand on that? And so that really drives me. And then I for some reason, I can never just have a hobby. It always ends up being a side business, and then I want to take it bigger to a more legitimate business. And I think that's where Crochet with Chanielle is definitely heading to.
That's good to hear. And I know you've always been, since you were in, I'd say, what is this? Kindergarten, pretty much. You had that entrepreneurial skills about you. I remember your teachers saying that, they saw that in you, because you would take even the things that were given to you as a little girl, you would take it to school and sell it to your friends.
I remember that.
And your friends would go home, take money or ask for money, however they did it. But it was kind of serious, but it was kind of funny at the same time, because however they wanted to attain the funds to support your business, they would try to do that. So even at that age, it was really really good and inspiring to see. So and how do you come up with your styles?
That's a great question. So interestingly enough, I never really considered myself a person that was really into fashion trends and following the latest trends. I think one of the things that has helped me develop my sense of style and creativity is really watching you grow up. And I remember we used to, have what I call mommy and me outfits, and we still kind of do that now. I have a daughter, and I like to, dress us looking alike, and looking at your fashion and just kind of seeing what is more contemporary to people in my age group, and merging that definitely has shaped my worldview on what does fashion mean to me in my own uniqueness. And so even with what I do with designing my clutches, that came from a vintage kind of style with the crochet, and then even the desire to line the purses with like a satin-like fabric, and then including the gold hardware to it and the crossbody clutch people really love that. And when I say people, it's not just young women, but older women love that too. And so it's like this intergenerational fusion that's taken place to build this level of style and creativity. And I really love that because I think that's unique. I'm true to myself, but I'm also still able to get some pearls from you, if that makes sense.
Okay. And I noticed that you started off with the bags. Then you know, included the earrings.
Right.
From the earrings, I noticed that you were doing those smaller flower ones with the pearls.
Yes.
And so it just seems like you're elevating and trying to capture more variety in your inventory, which, you know, I personally am impressed because when you started off with the bags, I was like, okay, in my head I'm thinking bags, and then when I saw jewelry, I was like, oh, wait a minute now. And then when I made these and I saw that you were using these to display, I was like, oh, she's on a whole different level, next level stuff. And so I'm just expecting it to just elevate. And I know the other day I did mention, you know, making some headbands. I noticed you made some scrunchies, and I can just see you adding more to that. And then, you know, of course, the headbands and all that. So, you know, guys, there's a whole room for, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, just to, you know, envision what can be extended to your inventory. Right. You know, it doesn't have to stay in one you know, place. You know, it can extend, you know, to different things. Right. And different looks, because I started off pretty much with just tops, you know, and then I included other things. Beautiful. And then, you know, some of these, you know, displays and all that. But, you know, like my daughter says, I've always been creative, and I got that from my mom. Right. You know, who was she just made everything. I don't think there's anything that my mom couldn't make. She even was hands-on in helping to build her house. So, you know, the creativity is in our hands, and that's what one of my videos actually, you know, spoke about, you know, just using the gifts that God gave us. So the next question is, where did you start and do you remember who taught you?
Okay, so yes, I like to call this my crochet story. Some people may call it like their craft origin. So my grandmother, your mom, Mommy P, she taught me how to crochet, and I remember being about 9 years old. But when I think about it, now that I have a daughter who is just a year away from becoming 9, there are fine motor skills that really need to be developed with crocheting, and I can't imagine at 9 years old I mastered it. So I must have taken time to start really building on, you know, skills. Yeah. And so I remember being about maybe 12 years old, and you allowed me to be a book buddy at the local library for the summer, and they actually put me in charge of the arts and crafts.
I remember.
Yeah, they put me in charge of the arts and crafts to teach the younger kids how to do different things. Right. And I remember using crochet as one of the activities that we had to do. And I was really good at teaching other people because I'm left-handed. My grandmother was right-handed. My mom is right-handed. So I think I'm a little bit ambidextrous as well. And even in high school, I remember crocheting my first bikini top and bottom. I started crocheting purses, or actually totes with yarn. And I remember this white and purple or white and lilac tote with handles that I crocheted. And I don't know if it was you or if it was Mommy P, but it was lined. Oh, I think Mommy P may have lined it for me. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, back in the days, Mommy P did the lining for the bags. I do have a video that I showed how she would put zippers and all that in the bags too.
Yeah, so I remember that in high school, and I also crocheted my first short sleeve sweater, and that was a I want to say the color was almost like a teal or lighter turquoise type of color. So I just remember those distinct projects that I used to do. And then, of course, like hats and scarves.
Yes. I still have a hat. I remember the pink and black hat that you made.
That's right.
And there was another beige hat. I still have both of them.
Oh my goodness, I do remember that. It was like a beanie.
Yes.
It was like a smaller beanie. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember that.
I remember that hat came in so handy. My hair wasn't done and we were moving from New York to Atlanta. And I threw that hat on my head.
Wow.
So I still have that hat and cherish it.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just remember doing things like that, and even in high school, and it really helped keep, it kept me busy. It kept my hands productive, and over the years, I had not really crocheted as much. I tried to get into it on and off, but having children and starting a family, and in career and ministry and doing so many different things, it wasn't until last year when I got inspired by you creating this, innovative earring display that really inspired me to get back into crocheting. And it didn't take very long for me to start with the earrings. And then I had this vision of this purse, and I really wanted to make this purse. So where I am now is I'm really in love with t-shirt yarn. So that's where I've evolved from acrylic yarn to worsted yarn to chenille yarn. Now I'm really interested in finding quality t-shirt yarn that I can use to make these new purses. And these purses are lined as well. My mom I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk about that in a little bit. But even these purses have challenged my skills, and now I'm sewing. And before I wasn't sewing. My mom bought me my first sewing machine back in 2022, and I had honestly kept it in the box. I wasn't really using it. I didn't have time at the time. And then even with this new skill, my mom started lining the purses for me, but then I said, you know what, I want to learn how to do them myself so that she can focus more on her boutique and making her own things. And it's just been a joy to be able to just say I can line my purses now from start to finish if I need to. So that's where I am now with it. So from 9 years old up until
yes,
so 30 years.
I do see that you have a video out that shows you were at an event,
right?
And you were so proud of yourself the way you did that lining right there at the event.
Yes.
And when she sent me the video, I was like overjoyed. I was like, yes, she did it. So that was very impressive. So just showing that growth, yes, and the zeal and the zest that you possess to be able to grow it's just amazing.
Well, thank you. I want to say this. You're an excellent teacher.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, even with the YouTube videos, you take your time to show step by step, and you make it really easy to learn. And I like the fact that you are so willing to allow whoever you're teaching to be autonomous and kind of say, go ahead, go for it. You can do it. And just building that confidence helps with the acceleration of how quickly to get it done. At least that's how your teaching style impacts me. I'm curious to know, maybe from our YouTube followers or subscribers, if they've watched that video, how have they been able to pick up on certain skills? But you're a really great teacher.
Thank you. I know there's a subscriber. When I first started my channel, she did mention that I'm very detailed. So thank you so much. If you're watching, I appreciate it, and I hope to hear from you soon. Is it relative to say that some of your skills are self-taught?
I would say yes, but if I could be honest, my grandmother taught me the basics. I don't really have a lot of memory of how I learned the other things, as I don't read crochet patterns at the moment, but I am trying to even teach myself how to do that. I feel like a music student who has this raw talent for playing an instrument but is not able to read music. And I really want to hone in on some other things. But I guess I could say I was self-taught, but Mommy P gave me the foundation of being able to put together a chain. And then, yes, there were some other things that I did figure out, because with the sweater that I made back in high school, I did not have a pattern that I could read from that. I had to kind of figure that out. The same thing with the bikini. It was just something that, the bikini bathing suit was something that I just kind of figured out. And even with my purses, I'm not sure if anyone taught me how to do that. I think I was making hats, and I accidentally realized that, oh, kind of like similar to how you make a hat, you can do this purse, but making that base of it, it's just a little bit different. So I guess I could say I was self-taught. No one taught me how to use the crochet yarn, so that was definitely self-taught.
Okay. Yeah, so you hear it, viewers, if you are, willing to do the work, there's some channels out there that does show how to, do the things that you like to do, but there are some things that when you achieve the basic, you pretty much can get the idea and the gist of going into other areas of what you, think about doing. So, yeah, never put a tap on it.
That's true.
And then, so pretty much, I think we covered everything. Because the other question was kind of like, if you learn from others, but I do know, there's some videos that, you may look to for help. And just thanking YouTube University for all that. Yes. If you get stuck, you're able to type in anything pretty much, and it comes up. So hopefully this video was a great inspiration to you all. Did you want to say anything before, we wrap up as far as your channel, or, something to inspire others?
Absolutely. So first I want to just ask everyone who's watching to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Crochet with Chanielle, and it's spelled Chanielle. That is actually my first name, Chanielle. Thanks to my mom.
Oh, let's tell a little story behind Chanielle. So, Chanielle is born in Jamaica, and originally, so we're both from Jamaica. And when I was pregnant with her, my aunt asked me what I was gonna name her, and I didn't have a name at the time. Sorry, and there was a truck that was passing while I was in a vehicle driving, going somewhere, and I saw the spellings. I think it was spelled Chenielle or Chenille. I think it was a fabric, because they have the bedspread. And I grew up seeing my mom with a yellow bedspread, and she said that's the name of the bedspread, Chanielle fabric. And so that's how I came up with the name. So I spelled her name the way she spelled it, Chanielle, because I thought the Neil just, was, just came together spelling it that way. But that's how she got her first name.
Yeah. Wow. I love that story. I think that, it never gets old to me. Is like the older you get, you always want to know things about your origin, and that makes you feel more connected and more anchored in your identity. So honestly, last year was when I realized, wait a minute, my name is Chanielle. I could so capitalize on this, because this is actually something that I can't make up. That's my name, and also it sounds like the material and the fabric, and those are things that I can use to really knit my story, no pun intended. So Crochet with Chanielle is the name of my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Instagram at Crochet with Chanielle. I have a Facebook group called Crochet with Chanielle, so I'm streamlining everything into one. And I started out with an Etsy store last year, November. And it's been doing pretty well. It's been getting a lot of visits, and I've had some sales from the Etsy store. And it's just a way for me to be able to display my work in a place based on an e-commerce type of platform. And I'm just really excited to see where this goes. I definitely want to thank my mom for being my key partner in this, and I'm supporting her YouTube channel and her boutique work, and we're always looking for different opportunities and vending opportunities to be able to set up what we've been working on, especially as these different seasons out of the year transition. Ladies are always looking for the next unique piece depending on the season. So we're just so excited about that. So again, I just want to say thank you to my mom for inviting me on her channel, and for also giving me an opportunity to share a little bit more about my my current endeavors and what we're working for. And I do want to say this, a couple months ago, I just remember my mom always just exploring my personal interests as a kid, with me wanting to make things like lanyards and bracelets, and just different things. Anything that I told her that I wanted to try, I mean, she really was my first business investor. She went and got the supplies. I remember, like, keychain hooks and the lanyards and beads and just different things, elastic so that I can, string my beads. And so if it was not for her being my very first investor into that, I don't know if I would have been able to explore those things as I got older and learn how to be a risk taker in that, and really just go above and beyond in my entrepreneurial skills. So I just wanted to say that as well, just very openly and publicly, and to say, Mom, thank you so much again for just believing in me and helping me build up my own level of self-efficacy.
You are welcome. It was just for me, just a great sense of joy to see you develop these skills, because it made me happy when I saw you happy. So it was like, buying all these toys and seeing children happy. For me, it was buying all these projects and seeing her happy. And even like she mentioned earlier about going to the library, it was just a joy to see how productive and creative she was at the library. So I just thought the skills that she had and the talent that she had should not have gone to waste. So I would just go and buy these things in bulk, and it wouldn't go to waste. She would make use every last piece to make items. And I remember when we lived in New York, she would stand on the corner of the street and sell. I mean, I was there with her, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like a high and busy type street. It was just a neighborhood. And, back then it was like in a Jewish neighborhood. So you had all these, older people that would support her. And so, I just kind of made a safe space for her where she could develop those skills. And here it is today, Crochet with Chanielle. And she's going, bigger and better than before. But thank you guys for joining us today, and thank you for spending time with myself and my daughter Chanielle. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like this material.
Yes.
And I just hope that if you have a skill or a talent that you believe in yourself, believe it can be done, and just move forward. So thanks again for joining us, and you'll see me on the next video. Bye.
Bye, y'all.